Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I would like to tell you a story about science fiction, just like the other story I have ever told you, but this one is a different one because it's a special story for you all. It's gonna be the longest story I told you guys so that I need to read all the script on my phone because I cannot remember all the script. So enjoy and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. So let's begin. In a world shattered by fire and fear, humanity built cages of steel to survive. But if the world outside was not dead, but waiting, tonight we dive into the story of survival, deviance and the search for hope beyond the ruins. This is The Last Dawn, a journey into the ashes of nuclear apocalypse, where two survivors risk everything to reclaim the surface and discover what still breathes beneath the scars of a broken earth. So I'll let you know first guys, this story is gonna be separated like in 7 chapters. So we're gonna go into the first chapter, The Silence After the Fire. The world had not ended in a single explosion, but in countless ones, rippling across nations like dominoes falling into fire. What began as a war of words had turned into a war of weapons, and those weapons were forged from uranium and plutonium and the origins of humankind. The first nuclear war had lifted up the sky. It was not the last. In less than a month, 50 years of political tension unraveled into glowing mushrooms of death. Entire cities vanished into pillars of fire. Rivers boiled. Forests became black skeletons. The air itself turned to poison, heavy with radioactive ash that refused to fall. Humanity, in its hunger for power, had cooked its own planet alive. And yet some still alive. In the ruins of what had once been Eastern Europe, a man named Elias staggered across a dead highway. His boots crunched glass that had once been windshields, storefronts, windows of houses where laughter used to echo. His gas masks were cracked at the edge, leaking faintly, but he forced himself to breathe shallowly. Every breath was a gamble with invisible death. The gear counter and at his hip ticked steadily, a reminder that the air was alive with something unseen. He had been walking for 3 days without food. Water was worse, coarser than kindness. His canteen was empty, his lips cracked into bleeding lines. But still, he walked because he had heard the rumor. The rumor spoke of the place where the air was filtered, where machines hummed beneath the ground, where light still glowed, where food still grew. They called it Heaven 7. Nobody knew it was real. But the alternative was to rot above ground with the corpses of billions. Elias would rather chase a lie than die in the truth of this wasteland. His shadow stretched along against the highway, distorted by the faint orange glow of the horizon. The horizon was never black anymore, it always burned, either with the distant fires or with the perpetual red haze of dust that circled the planet. Night was never truly night. The world itself had become a furnace, its atmosphere scared forever. Elias remembered the sky as blue, though sometimes he wondered if his memory lied. His family was gone, his city was gone, his faith in governments, nations, borders and flags was gone. But his will, his stubborn, fragile will remained. Heaven 7, he whispered through the mask. The word was like a prayer. His voice was muffled, cracked, almost devoured by the wind. The wind was hot and metallic, carrying the smell of rust and ash. Sometimes it carried screams too, whether of survivals or hallucinations, Elias never knew. He kept walking, Along the road, he passed burnt vehicles melted into the asphalt. Skeletons still sat behind steering wheels, jaws frozen mid-scream. He avoided looking at them, thought their empty sockets seemed to follow him. He had seen too many bodies. He could no longer bury them. The world has a graveyard too vast to cover. All that was left was to walk among the tombstones and pretend you were different from the dead. Elias tightened his grip on his canteen, thought it held nothing but air. His stomach groaned, a hollow beast gnawing itself. He ignored it. Survival was hunger turned into habit. As he walked, his ears caught something unusual. Silence broken by a faint hum, not the wind, not the crackle of distant fire. A low rhythmic vibration, almost mechanical. His heart skipped. He crouched low, pulling his worn rival close, its magazine nearly empty. He followed the sound down the side of the highway into skeletal remains of a town. The buildings were scorched husks, their windows black holes, their doors hanging like broken jaws. Yet somewhere beneath the rubble, he heard it clearly now, a machine still alive. Elias' brain fogged inside his cracked mass as excitement were his fear. Machines meant power, power meant fuel, warmth, light, maybe even survivors. Or it meant soldiers, scavengers, raiders. Elias moved like a shadow, slipping through alleys of concrete bones. His boots disturbed as that rose like ghosts. He approached the collapsed warehouse. Beneath the twisted steel beams, faint like clicked upward. No wave light, no flickering. This was steady, electric. His pulse quickened. He knelt, bruising a slight rumble. A thin metal head revealed itself, hidden beneath the breeze. The hum was louder now, vibrating against his palms. He had found something. Maybe heaven 7, maybe death. In this world, they were often the same. He hesitated, fingers hovering over the latch. For a long moment, he just listened. The hum reminded him of a heartbeat, steady, patient, waiting. He remembered his daughter's heartbeat on hospital monitors years ago, before the fire, before the bombs. She had died in the first wave, and yet the sun still haunted him. This hum felt like a ghost of that memory calling him forward. He swallowed hard, his throat raw. "Please," he whispered. His voice trembled like a child's. Then with a grunt, he pulled the hatch open. Warm, filtered air rushed against his face. It smelled of something he had not known in years, clean lines. Elias rose dizzy. For a moment he thought he was dreaming. Then voice echoes from below, sharp and commanding. "Don't move." Elias stiffened. His rival rising instinctively. A beam of light struck his mask, blinding him. Footsteps changed on metal. More than one. Survivors or executioners. So now let's continue to the second chapter. Chapter 2. Beneath the Ashes. Elias blinked against the flashlight's beam. His hand tied on the rifle. The voice that had shouted, "Don't move," was close now, echoing in the metallic tunnel beneath the hatch. Boots scratched against iron rungs as someone climbed up. Elias' chest rose and fell in shallow, controlled breath. His finger brushed the trigger, through the doubt that he had enough bullets to win any fight. A figure emerged, a silhouette in bulky armor, fissure glinting. Not a raider, not a starving scavenger. This was military. Or at least what remained of it. "Drop the weapon," the armored figure ordered, voice muffled by a regret her mask. Elias hesitated. He couldn't trust anyone, not anymore, but he couldn't afford to lose his chance either. Slowly, painfully, he lowered his rifle to the ground. He cracked his mask as he exhaled, fogging in the inside glasses. "I'm not here to fight," he rasped. His voice sounded alien to his own ears. The soldier gestured to the side and another figure climbed up, this one smaller holding a scanning device. The device beeped, bathing Elias in the green light. Radiation level, high exposure, the second figure reported. But survivable. He is not sick yet. Elias swallowed, fear mixing with relief. They were measuring him like a specimen, but at least they weren't shooting. Name? The soldier demanded. Elias, he croaked. The soldier studied him for a long, heavy pause. Elias, you're about to enter restricted ground. Restricted? Elias caught a bitter laugh. Let's continue. The sound outside was very loud. It's annoying. Okay, let's continue. Instead, they motioned for him to climb down. Elias hesitated, glancing at the endless wasteland behind him. The thought of leaving the surface almost made him panic. If this was a trap, he would die in the dark alone. But this was Heaven 7. Or anything like it, then it was his only chance. With trembling hands, he gripped the ladder and descended. Warm air enveloped him as he moved lower step by step. The hum of machines grew louder, steadier, filling the tunnel like a heartbeat. He could almost taste electricity in the air. When he reached the bottom, the sight nearly broke him. Fluorescent light glowed overhead. The floor was clean, metallic scrap of dust and ash. Pipes hissed softly as filtered air rushed through them. It was like stepping into a dream of the past world. Elias' knees weakened and he leaned against the ladder dizzy. He hadn't seen light bulb working in 5 years. He had smelled the air like this since the bombs fell. For a moment he thought he might cry, but his eyes were too dry to shed cry and tears. The soldier guided him forward, rifle still raised. They didn't trust him, why should they? The corridor stretched deep, lined with heavy doors. Behind some, Elias thought he heard muffled voice. People. Actual people. His heart hammered faster, he wasn't alone. He hadn't realized how badly he needed that thought. One soldier pressed the panel and the door hissed opened. The room beyond was vast, filled with machinery and glowing monitors. Screens tracked radiation level, air pressure, filtration cycles. Technicians in white suits moved briskly between stations, ignoring him. At the center stood a woman with short iron gray hair wearing no mask. She breathed the air casually as if the world outside was poisoned. Her sharp eyes locked onto Elias immediately. As he stepped forward, heels clicking against the steel door. Odor radiated from her like heat from a reactor. Who is this? Who is this? He asked the soldier. Her voice was calm but edged with suspicion. Surface survivor, the soldier reported. High exposure but still stable. The woman studied Elias like he was both a curiosity and a threat. Name? Elias, he repeated, throat right. Her gaze narrowed. How did you find this place? I heard rumors, Elias admitted. Heaven 7. At the word, her expression hardened. There is no Heaven 7, she said sharply. That's a propaganda, a lie to keep survivors desperate. Elias frowned, shaken. But this is real. You're here, this place is alive. The woman's eyes opened slightly but only for a second. This is not Heaven 7, she said firmly. This is Odd 3. Odd 3. Elias breathed out, another name, another hope. Maybe the same thing, only under a different mask. Odd 3 was built before the collapse, the woman explained. Hidden deep underground, meant to preserve knowledge, technology, and people. If humanity destroyed itself. Elias swallowed hard, his head spinning. So it's true? He whispered. There really are sanctuaries. The woman's jaw tightened. Not sanctuaries, art, and they are not for everyone. The weight of her words sank into Elias like a stone in water. He realized what she meant. Survival here came with a price. You shouldn't even be here, the woman continued. We're already at capacity. Resources are limited. Every mouth we feed reduces our timeline. Elias' hands clenched into fists. So what then? You'll throw me back up there? Into the ash? The soldier stands at his raised voice, rivals twitching. The woman lifted her hand, keeping them still. She stared at Elias for a long, cold moment. Then she said, "That depends." "On what?" Elias demanded. "On whether you're usable or not." The words hit him like a hammer. This place wasn't salvation, it was a mission. And mission didn't tolerate waste. Elias drew a shaky breath, trying to steady his racing thoughts. "Usable how?" he asked cautiously. The woman's gaze sharpened. "What did you do before the collapse?" Memories stepped through him, blueprints, concrete, endless work. "I was an engineer," Elias admitted. Her eyes widened just slightly, a crack in her armor. "An engineer?" "Yeah, civil infrastructure, water system, bridges, power grids." His words trembled up like lifelines. The woman flattened, her face unreadable. "We lost 2 of ours last winter," she said slowly. "We've been running short on skilled hands." Elias felt a flicker of hope ignite in his chest. "Then I can't help," he said quickly. "I can make myself worth your food, worth your aid." He hated the desperation in his voice, but he let it show. Silence stretched between them, heavy as lead. Finally, the woman nodded once. "You'll stay for now?" Elias exhaled shakily, relief flooding through him, but her next words froze his blood. "But understand this. Octree is not a paradise. It is not freedom. It is survival barely. If you fail, you take more than you give. You will be cast out." Her gaze cut through him like a blade. "Do you understand?" Elias nodded tight. "I understand." She gestured to the soldier. "Get him decontaminate. Then send him to the lower level. He works tomorrow." The soldiers moved, guiding Elias down another corridor. His legs felt big, but his heart was alive with something dangerous. Hope. He had made it inside. He had survived the fire, the hunger, the poison. And now, deep beneath the earth, he had one more chance. But as he glanced back, he caught the woman still watching him. Her eyes were sharp, calculating, already weighing his word. So that's the end of the chapter 2. So after this, we'll continue to the chapter 3. Oh guys, I think that's long enough for chapter 1 and chapter 2, and we will continue the chapter 3 on the next video because it's long enough, I think. So the chapter 3 is gonna be the Ark's Heart, and yeah, just wait until I upload it. And I think that's the end of the first part, chapter 1 and chapter 2. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please help me to click the button like and comment, and don't forget to share with your friends, okay, so your friend can also hear the story from me. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.